Hey everyone, happy new moon in Cancer. Yeah, that's what this reading is going to be about. We're going to see about all the things that the new moon in Cancer may be highlighting for us. So love, money, career, relationships, yada, 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 all the things. I mean, but it generally, if you've noticed within my readings, it always comes back to self, right? Like, how can you work on your internal world so that your external world lines up with what it is you want? And usually that involves self-reflection, self-awareness, some healing from the past, owning your power, acknowledging the things that you're not acknowledging about yourself. So yeah, let's see what this new moon has in store for us. Quiet so far. I feel like there's something up the universe's sleeve, but they're being quiet about it. They're being a hush-hush about it. It's almost like they want to surprise you. So the Fool and Death. All right. So the Fool is taking a leap of faith, jumping off the cliff, even though you can't see what's on the other side, but trusting that you know that this is the only direction that's meant for you to go. And then we have Death, which is Scorpio energy, but it's death and rebirth. Sorry, I thought I heard something. It's probably just things moving around because of my fan. All right, so it's asking us to jump into death. I mean, like, obviously it's not physical death. Hold on a second. See, the Six of Wands keeps coming out. I hope this was the only one that... I'm not taking that one. Hold on, I just want to make sure that I didn't lose any other cards. Okay. So the Six of Wands, this morning when I was shuffling cards for myself, like this one kept coming out. Six of Wands is about victory. It's when you dive into your shadows and the darkness, the aspects of you that you keep hidden, the ones that you are possibly ashamed of, or that you don't want to feel because it's too painful, or you don't want to admit something about yourself, or you don't want to relive an experience that was traumatic. That's what our shadows are. It's the things that we don't necessarily share with everybody. And when we don't share it with anybody else, we probably don't share it with ourselves, right? It's trying to keep ourselves safe from feeling the pain of the memories of maybe how we were treated in the past, or how we treated other people and what that felt like, and the experiences that we had that were just not, I don't know, not like, I don't say not what we wanted, but they were unpleasant. They were painful. So, but the only way that you can come out on the other side and actually see who you are, because I feel like this is what this card is about: public recognition, or at least just recognition for accomplishments. It's maybe you're making this realization this new moon, right? A new moon is also the dark moon, so that means it could be bringing up some darkness. More so than the full moon. I feel like the full moon is more illuminating, right? And so it's easier to see the things that are being brought to light. Whereas in the new moon, you might have to do a little bit more intentional work in order to actually see what it is that's there. Dig a little bit deeper. Because if we want a new beginning in some way, we have to first make space. We have to see what we need to let go of, see what we need to walk away from, see the patterns and behaviors that we need to stop giving into that we know are not healthy for us. So clarifying, we have the Three Pentacles. So this is about teamwork and collaboration. I feel like it's collaborating with, so we have the World here. This could be about travel, but it's also like feeling connected to all that is. It's coming to the completion of something, feeling complete and whole. To me, this could also be like collective consciousness, like feeling connected to the world, right? Everyone in the world. I feel like it's you collaborating. I'm gonna get one more. I'm trying to see how I want to articulate this. So if you're wanting to be recognized, or you're wanting wanting to go in a direction where maybe you're being seen or heard, or again, recognized for your accomplishments, you also have to, like, in order to do that, you have to tap into like I said, collective consciousness, collective energy. And if you want other people to relate to you or to recognize you, you also have to relate and recognize other people, relate to and recognize other people. And so that means acknowledging people for the good and the bad, or, you know, the whatever, the dark and the light that you see in them. And so you're being asked to see the world or to work with collective energy in a new way. Maybe not in a new way, but it's just like, you have to dive into the shadows of collective consciousness. You have to expose yourself to it. I mean, we see it happening right now in our world. I mean, we have been since 2020. Just shit keeps coming to the surface that we're all kind of just like, what the fuck? Like, this is how people actually are. You know, like, this is the shadow. This is the darkness of humanity. And we can't shut ourselves off from it. We can't pretend like it doesn't exist. And you're really being asked to dive into the parts of you that could also be, okay, that one. Here's the thing. Anything that you admire in somebody else, you maybe aren't fully recognizing in yourself, right? If you're projecting it onto the other person, like, I really admire this person for being so bold and brave or courageous or whatever it is, vulnerable. But you also have that ability. You also have that within you, but you are maybe only recognizing it within that other person, so that because it's asking you to recognize it within yourself. Same thing goes for the darkness and the shadow and all of the gross things that we see in humans that we don't like. So whatever it is that triggers you the most, whatever it is that comes up for you this new moon, you're being asked to because it generally comes through other people, right? We recognize it in other people so that we can then become awakened to it within ourselves, whether it's like, okay, I have this ability. I could actually go in this direction. I could do this thing if I maybe had a different mindset, if I wasn't as aware, if I wasn't being as reflective. And you have to acknowledge that we all have the ability to go in a very dark direction or in a very light direction. So it's kind of just like, where do you need to find the balance within yourself, but also like acknowledge that it exists within you, because we all come from the same source. We are all connected in a way, energetically, emotionally. We're all human, right? So we all experience a range of emotions, mental capacities, capabilities, struggles, pain. We all experience the same things, just on different levels, at different times in our lives. It's never going to be exactly the same, and it may manifest differently for everybody too, like physically, but we have to be able to relate to people in that way, because we're all innately human. At our core, we're all just human. And so it's really asking you to like look at that, like recognize other people, and recognize yourself in a way that it's like, okay, I see we are equal. I see we are the same. I see that. And even if you really can't be like, I just don't understand how someone could do that, finding the compassion, or at least like trying to understand, like, okay, what happened to them in their past? What did they experience that had them act this way? That kind of thing. That's really what compassion is, right? It's just trying to understand where someone is coming from, not because you agree with their behavior or because you feel like you would ever do that yourself. But it's more so just trying to get a better grasp on humanity and like why we do the things that we do. And it generally all goes back to just things that we have deep hidden within ourselves that we're ashamed of, that we feel guilty of, that we haven't forgiven ourselves or other people for, the trauma, the pain, the healing that needs to happen. Yeah, so it has to do with something from the past. The Five of Cups is looking at the past, something that didn't work out, crying over spilled milk. It's generally that's where hurt people, right? So if someone's hurting inside, they're more likely going to be, if they're not dealing with it in a healthy way themselves, or if they're not really conscious of what's there, they're going to be projecting it onto other people. And this is what you may be noticing, is finding I feel like it's finding a deeper level of connection within humanity for yourself through whatever's triggering you, and trying to see all sides of it, trying to understand, like, okay, what is the shadow showing me about myself? Or what is this amazing thing showing me about myself too? What's the light showing? But I feel like it is going to be, because we have the Death card, it's going to be some kind of shadow. What is this shadow? What is this darkness? What is this thing that I keep hidden within myself, or that I see is coming up on the outside? What is it bringing up within me? And what is that thing that needs to be expressed? So we have the Queen of Wands. She's magnetic. She's fiery. She goes after what she wants. She's also very sexual, sensual, She's in her pleasure. She's in her power, her raw, magnetic, divine feminine power. And the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment. To me, this is desire. This is what do you desire? And desire can be a very tricky thing. We can take things maybe too far in an unhealthy way with desire. I think maybe people get addictions and desire mixed up, especially if you come from a family where there's addiction in the family in any way, shape, or form. We get it. We could be afraid to desire things because we don't want it to become an overindulgence, right? But if you're coming from this heart-centered place, and this is happy home life, having everything emotionally fulfilling, it's different than if, say it were the Devil card, which is just about lust and maybe greed or all of those things that we just want to take for ourselves and be selfish about. I just want people to give to me what I want without me having any regard for them and what they need and what they want. That's different, right? Than being tapped into your desire and being like, I really just want this type of relationship. I really want a family. I really want a community, a new friend group. I really want to find this new area of study for myself because I can feel that I'm wanting to, expand in some way. I really, really want more money. I want to expand my business, whatever it is. I want a new home. Those are all things you desire. And it's I want you to feel that it's coming from your sacral, your solar, and your heart. That's kind of where your desire, these three chakras, your heart, your solar, your sacral. So it's really coming from all of those spaces, I feel. And so I want to see what this one is. The Eight of Swords. You're feeling stuck in your head about it. This is feeling like there's no way out, or it's not seeing that it's possible. Perhaps you're not seeing that what you desire is actually possible, even though what I get is that you feel you can feel it, that it exists somewhere, but it's there's a disconnect between you getting physically manifesting it. So right now you're feeling stuck, or it's showing you, or you've been seeing where you've been feeling stuck in your head around how can I create this? How can I magnetically attract this? How can I actually get to my completion, my 10 of Cups of having happiness and bliss and fulfillment? So we have the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. But it can be about control, control, religious institutions, dogma, societal expectations, cultural expectations. And then we have the Queen of Cups, which to me, it's she's the very watery in her flow, very receptive, nurturing, caregiving, divine feminine energy. I know, and we see this right now with what's happening with the Roe versus Wade thing. In my opinion, a lot of control comes from just wanting to control divine feminine energy because it's unpredictable. We haven't done a lot of we don't know a lot about it in terms of, I think, the masses, or maybe it's just masculine energy, toxic masculinity. There's fear associated with divine feminine energy because of her power, because of the power that we hold as feminine energy. And, it's not just women, we can more easily tap into it because we're in a female body, but it's whatever you predominantly identify as. So even if you're in a male body, and you still have a lot of feminine energy, you can absolutely tap into and hold and express feminine power. And we all have the ability, but I think it's been so suppressed, oppressed, and shamed, and disrespected, and treated as if it's not equal to masculine energy. And I really feel like that's where this oppression is coming from. And again, I was saying that, we see it with the Roe versus Wade, is just that I feel most of our issues as humans is because we don't know how to tap into our emotions and feel them and honor them. And we don't have tools, we don't have resources, we don't have education around our bodies and what they do and how we can utilize them most. And when we don't know how to support someone through that, there's fear. And then what happens when we're in our fear is then we want to control, we want to oppress, we want to do something to make us feel like we're in control or in our power. So therefore we shut it down, we deny it, we say, you're wrong, stop doing that, don't cry, don't feel like that, I didn't do that. We gaslight, we do all these negative things to what's really just feminine energy. And we see it happens during childhood because children are born into their feminine energy. It's not until they're around age 8 or 9 when they start to develop more of their logical brain, which is then the masculine energy, right? So it goes back to our childhood. But I'm just saying that our desires and what we desire as people, as humans, it's not always supported in our world, where we desire control over full expression, over authenticity, over deep connection with others and deep connection with ourselves. And I really feel like it's just full expression of who we are and the feeling of our emotions. So here we have the Seven of Cups. This is what I feel like happens is it creates confusion, the control and the because this can be about confusion or having a lot of options, but the control and the you have to do it this way, otherwise you're wrong, or we're going to take something away from you or treat you in a certain way, we're going to ostracize you, or whatever it is, the consequences, the social consequences that we have to being in your full expression or knowing what you desire and going after it, if it's not necessarily socially acceptable, and that people, and you have all these people around you and media and or friends or your family or whoever, whatever you grew up in, all around you telling you you're wrong, what you want is wrong, you can't do it that way, there's no way that's going to happen. It creates confusion, and that's deliberate, because then when you're confused, you're not sure about your path, and you're more likely to go off into another direction or try something new, because you're like, well, that's not practical, or well, this person said that this worked for them, so I'm going to do it that way, or other people aren't doing it that way, so how do I know this is going to work for me? Even though deep down that when you're connected to it through your heart and your desire, and you have the willpower, that's where our chakras are coming in, is your heart's guiding you, and this is your willpower, right? It's you have the power within you to speak it, to do it, to take the action. And then our sacral, is our emotions, our emotions, our emotional center. I was trying to say that at the same time. And our pleasure, right? When we're deep and oh, this feels so good to want this thing, to do this thing, to go after this thing, to live my truth. What was I saying? That's how it's operating, right? So when you're connected to that, I forget what I was saying, but I think you probably got it. Well, we'll see. I got really into my explanation there. The Ten of Swords. See, and so this is what's happening around this new moon. The Ten of Swords is a painful ending, but it's allowing something to die. It's allowing these old stories, these old beliefs that then create these behaviors of being confused, questioning yourself, doubting yourself, feeling stuck, like there's no way out, feeling like what you want is not the right thing, like it's never going to happen for you. All of those old stories that make you feel bad about yourself, that make you feel stuck, that's what you're being asked to recognize what those are, possibly where they come from. I mean, usually when we recognize where they're coming from, so say it's oh, well, I grew up religious, or in this, Christianity or Catholicism or Judaism, whatever it is, maybe if it was very controlled, or something to that effect, Mormonism, there's, Jehovah's Witness, there's so many different types of religions or structures, mindsets that we come from that end up just trying to control masses amount of people, to keep order. And so identifying, oh, well, I see that this is coming from what I grew up learning, or just if it's just through your family, like my family used to say this thing to me all the time, so that's where that was instilled in me, or society shows this, online or in the media, so therefore I realize that's where it's coming from, right? So you're making these realizations, and sometimes it does help to identify where it is coming from, because then you can easily detach from it. If you recognize, oh, that's not even actually mine, and I really recognize that I don't actually believe that to be true, because it's a clear shift. It's a clear difference of like how I feel when I'm in my desire to how it feels when I'm tapped into this other thing that isn't coming from me. Like, you can easily detach from it, and therefore you can remove yourself from it, or remove it from, you cannot identify as it as a part of you, and you can let it die, basically. Yeah, the High Priestess is hidden knowledge, intuition. She knows things and she sees things, and she doesn't always share them, and you don't have to share the things that you see and know with other people either. In fact, I recommend not sharing everything with everybody, because what happens is when you do that, that's when the other people try to come in and be like, well, that doesn't make sense because it maybe challenges their belief system. It challenges what they think they know. And that's fine. Everyone can have their own opinion, can have their own, desires and ways of going about things, ways of doing things. They can have their own beliefs, but it's when we start trying to push them onto other people that it becomes a problem. So unless you know very clearly that the person you are going to share your desires with, your hidden knowledge, or whatever, your intuitive hits, the things that are coming in and the things you want to do with your life, unless you know very clearly that they will not try to oppress you, to tell you that you're wrong, try to get you to do it a different way, by all means share it with those people. But I would recommend highly not to share it with people who you're not sure how they're going to react to you. There's something I was going to say that it keeps happening, man. I feel like they're just like, they're like channeling a lot through me right now. And sometimes I go off on a tangent and then I forget one thing I was saying. So we have the Nine of Swords, which is anxiety, stress, worry. And we have the Emperor. The Emperor is father energy. It can also be Aries energy, but it's someone who's in charge, someone who's the boss. Someone you trust. I kind of get, it could be your father. It could be like, we were talking about family, stuff coming from family. But this would be someone who's like in charge of something, whether it's like head of household, head of a company, a business, they own, something. There's someone who has the final say in something. Let me kind of clarify this. Perhaps you grew up in a family where it was like, I have to share everything, otherwise, or it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna get a few to see what this is saying, what this message is about. Oh my gosh, nothing wants to come out. Oh my gosh, there's so much worry here. I get there's like worry to share with someone, maybe. Two of Cups and the Hanged Man. So Two of Cups is sharing your love with somebody else. It's mutual love and admiration, adoration. And the Hanged Man is seeing something from a different perspective. I get that perhaps you are scared to share with certain people in your lives, whether it's like a boss or a father or a husband, or just a masculine energy. Like if it's you're a masculine watching and that's not necessarily it. We were talking about masculine energy. So I feel like it's just a masculine energy in your life, whether that shows up in friends, family, business, or just with yourself, right? It could be just like the conditioning and the healing that you're doing within yourself of like, this isn't like, you're realizing that this is how you're treating yourself. And there's that fear that you won't be met with this with the, oh yeah, I see you, I hear you, I understand you, and I want you to go in your direction and do the things that you desire. And it's like you really want someone, the masculine energy, to see something from a new perspective. But there's a lot of fear around sharing yourself, sharing your views, sharing your desires with people. And the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is a new, passionate, fiery beginning. Hold on, someone's calling me. So this kind of does feel like a relationship. Because with the Two of Cups, you know, the Emperor, you know, like I said, it's going to be like a husband, a father energy. So like maybe not your father, but someone you want to have kids with, or, you know, something to that effect. So let's get a little bit more, because it seems like we're hitting into a story. I don't want to make this video that much longer, but but you're hoping for and maybe it's like you wanting, you know, whether it's within you. I mean, it will always start within you, right? If you've been working on this for yourself and you've been healing your own masculine, your own feminine, and really getting them to work together within you in order to create the life that you want. And now it's like, it's time to take that out into the world and do it with the actual people who can help you create what it is you want in your life. It's wanting someone to be on the same page as you, or to like support you, to mutually like benefit from what it is you're wanting to create in your life. And there's a lot of passion, desire, and maybe, you know, like creativity involved in this thing, and maybe even possibly love. Like, I mean, obviously I was talking about, you know, being connected to our heart and our sacral. Perhaps it's, you know, needing that masculine support, whether like it's within you and or with another person. See, with the Empress, we have counterparts. I do feel like it's love. I feel like or it's just healing these aspects within you as well. Love, or it's like, you know, finding your counterpart so that you guys can create together. I don't want to get any more. I think that's good. I'm going to end it with that. So let's see what advice maybe we have from our angels and ancestors, because we're here. Well, we are healing. And so the Cancer is also is ruled by the house of the 4th house, I think, which is the house of home and I think family. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense why all this is coming out, right? And so it's like you healing family wounds, ancestral wounds within yourself, seeing how it's playing out right now in the world, and recognizing what it's bringing up within you right now, and healing that within yourself, whether you've already been doing that or not. Sorry, hold on. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. And what was I saying? You're healing it within your family, your ancestral line, by you just doing it within yourself. But now you're also wanting to create something new in the physical world with you and your own family, whether it's like husband, wife, or partner, or whatever it is, in love, and maybe it's in business as well. But we didn't really get a lot of pentacles out, did we? We had one pentacles card. So I really feel like this has to do with love and relationship. Let's see what we have from our angels and ancestors. Ooh. Shaman, trust in higher forces. So again, this is taking me back to the High Priestess card. Trust that there is a higher force at work, no matter what is playing out in your life right now, what's coming up for you. There's a reason. There's a season and a reason. Spring, see your seeds grow. See, it's also time to see, perhaps things haven't been working out the way that you had hoped they would, but now things are coming to fruition. And White Witch, be the light. This is you tapping into your divine feminine power, that the feared divine feminine power, I should say. Since we're talking about love, I'm going to pull some romance angels as well. You know, the High Priestess would be someone who could be considered a light witch. When I say light, I mean, you know, she's tapped into the light, maybe like the stars or whatever it is. So yeah, you're being asked to honor both the divine masculine and feminine within you in order to create what it is you want in the world with whatever it is you're wanting to create, whatever, like whether it's a relationship, a business, a new home. Like I said, no matter what you're trying to create, Did I say that, or was that the other video? I recorded a video before this one, so it could have been that. Okay, I want to get some romance angels because it seems like a relationship is on your mind or it's manifesting, and I want, you know, so far we just have like trusting in a higher force. Like things are being brought together, especially through your magnetism. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. See, yes. So this is either going to happen or it has happened for you. And it's because you're tapped into your true desires and your heart's desires and your, you know, your pleasure, your magnetic attraction. And I think maybe there may be fear when you meet this person, or if you've already met this person, to actually be yourself and to show up and be in your raw feminine power or masculine power, and to be received well. You know, that could be the fear, you know. Playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So we also want to remember that, you know, things don't, when you're connecting with someone new, it doesn't have to like immediately be in this like very serious, very much like, these are all my issues. Like, let me, you know, let you know what all my issues are, lay it out on the table just in case, like, then you'll know if you want to be with me. It doesn't have to be that. Like, I think that is saying, I mean, allow things to be new again, but allow things to be fun and playful. And that's what happens when you're tapped into your desire and your heart and your pleasure. Anyway, romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So we have romance. In all three cards, it says, a new person has stirred your romantic feelings. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit to shine, and your feelings are real and worth exploring. So all your romantic feelings that you're feeling with this person, whether they're here or not yet, are going to bring in that person for you, and to not be afraid of opening yourself up to new love and to your own passion and your own desire and your own heart. So I'm gonna leave it there. Happy new moon. I hope you guys have a peaceful, you know, transition. Do some manifesting today, you know, write down your intentions. Like if you are releasing anything, I suggest doing maybe somatic experiences where it's like really moving energy through your body, whether it's through dance, yoga, you know, crying it out, whatever it is that you need to do to create the space for what wants to come in, because what wants to come in is really beautiful. It's a really balanced, healed, emotionally supportive, and mutual love. So if you'd like your own reading with me, you can click on the link below, and once you purchase, I will send you an email with my calendar to schedule the day and time. Follow me on Instagram at Bethany Empowers, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.